Hi lovelies, welcome back to a new video. So today I'm going to be chatting about ways in which friends and family can help you secure a mortgage and how they can kind of chip in where possible. It's mainly two options that we came across while we were looking and trying to figure out what our best option would be. So if you're new to my channel, my name's Prim, and at the moment I'm really keen on sharing videos around my general lifestyle, budgeting, our journey to securing a home, and lots of other little bits in between. So definitely stick around and have a little look on my channel and see what you can find and what you like. As always guys, if you enjoyed this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. It really helps to kind of boost my channel and help my little corner grow. So one of the first and simple things in terms of family members or friends helping you is actually giving you a financial gift, and for a lot of people that's through inheritance of, let's say, like grandparents that have left you a chunk of money that you can kind of put towards a deposit, or if parents have extra money they can kind of give you a gifted deposit. Now with these gifted deposits, it does have to be legally noted, because when you do go on to show your lender where your deposit has come from, they need a trail from the bank to show where those finances were sitting, and your solicitor will kind of give you some advice about that. You know, I think there are forms that you also have to sign, because it just has to be clear that this money is clean, there's a trail, and obviously that you wouldn't have to make any repayments to family members or friends that have decided or chosen to give you money. In cases where it's a gift that's linked to like an inheritance, they call it a PET, which is a potentially exempt transfer. So if my grandparents were giving me an amount of money here in the UK, they could give you up to, I think, £3,000 before it's then taxed. However, for some people you can have a direct bank transfer from a family member to you, and then, you know, like I mentioned, just a form, like a disclaimer, just confirming that that family member is happy to gift you, they know what it's being used for, and obviously that they won't want you to repay that at any point. There are some more technicalities around inheritance of finances and how that links into buying a home. However, you can kind of source that advice from a solicitor and get into the detail, because circumstances are really different for people and very varied. But the simplest form that we were looking to was kind of seeing what the options would be like with immediate family members, and then that led us to our second discovery, which we had heard about before, but for me I feel like it was something that I still don't really see a lot of people talking about. Okay, so with guarantor mortgages, it kind of really allows for parents or relatives to act as like the security and safety net for your mortgage. They're kind of responsible. Depending on what lender you go to, they would have to kind of foot the bill with a partial amount, and then acknowledge that if there were any issues ahead, they would kind of then take on the responsibility with those payments. In some cases, it allows you to actually sort of make a repayment back into your parents, like in an account. So if they gave you like a chunk of £40,000 in the borrowing rate towards like a big deposit, and you already had a little sum, then when you're paying back into the bank are putting it aside into an account that is for your parents. So again, that's going to like yield some dividends and grow, so that when they get it back, it's matured. And what that does is it kind of separates the traditional borrowing or gifting, where you're saying, right, I'm borrowing a set amount and I'll pay you this monthly. It just feels more secure and streamlined. And overall, these mortgages do come with some risk. So for example, if you did miss payments, then having signed that, your parents could have their own home taken away and things like that. But there's so much information and resources. My favourite place to look for information was Which, and I was able to then find out what different lenders offer, and that was kind of great in broadening my awareness of the different options that would be available to us. So I think that's always a realistic option for everybody. But these types of mortgages, in my opinion, are still quite new, still quite rare, and quite risky depending on what point your family members are at in their life. So obviously if you're at a point where they're empty nesters and they do have more disposable income, it is good. But looking at how things have gone on with the pandemic, we just don't know what's around the corner. So it would be a shame to kind of put all your family's life's work, you know, at risk with things like that. So there's definitely a lot of thought, and it can be quite a sensitive subject. But if family are in a position to kind of boost you and help you get on the ladder, then these couple of options are really perfect, and they're like the most simplifiers. So one is a lot more streamlined in terms of getting the support and making sure that it's really like the legal route, quite formal, and there's a clear payment structure. And then the other one is just kind of the traditional, you're gifting because you have the excess and you're in a position to do that, which again also works. So I hope this kind of helps in mapping out some of the conversations you could potentially introduce to family members if you are thinking you need a little bit of help to get onto the ladder, and how you could maybe recommend an option where, one, you know, they're either just giving you the gift, or two, they're giving you the boost, but you're also in a position to repay it in a formal structure. Anyway guys, I hope that's really helpful for anyone that is thinking about getting on the ladder, especially if you're like a millennial and you're young. Things are so different for our generation, and it's like a real challenge and a minefield to get around some of these things, but there are options and there are ways, and I'll just keep sharing some of the things that we kind of explored before and what we've discovered. And still, as I continue on my financial journey, I think I'll be sharing a lot more about budgeting and life beyond having bought a home. Anyway, until the next video guys, take care, bye.